Greetings, everyone. My name is Buck Business. Konnichiwa. I'm Kawaii Critic, and today we're here to review My Little Pony Season 7, Episode 10, A Royal Problem. So we begin this episode with Starlight-san being called to the map solo style, and this freaks out her senpai, Twilight-san. And she's also being sent to the royal palace. So she heads on over there after getting the little freak out, and she wants to follow and discover what the issue is, but not before Twilight-san makes her presence known there as well. Anywho, we see that at first glance it seems like Celestia-san is the one being mistreated, but we soon find out that they're both not being grateful toward each other for the little deeds that they are doing. And from there, Starlight uses her magic to switch their key marks, which questionably starts the potential first issue with this episode. Now, this could be just personal preference, but I was actually hoping to see Starlight first use her magic as that crutch as we've been seeing, then slowly learning to stop using her magic to solve her problems, and then eventually come to terms that using magic isn't always bad, and then finally coming to terms with using magic the right way. But we completely cut out the middle section of that and cut right to this episode, and it feels like that potential was cut to help Celestia build her character within this episode. So it seems it sacrifices Starlight as a character for Celestia as a character, which again I feel is an issue. And the other interesting point I would like to bring up is continuity, or at least assumed continuity anyway. I mean, for the longest time, most reviewers and even other Brony active members have stated that Celestia doesn't really do anything, and that's always been sort of this joke slash meme, but we do very rarely get to see her do anything, and in this episode we see that her royal duties are actually quite busy. So does that break continuity? And does it actually do it in a really interesting and good way for once? It's a question that I hope maybe someone else will answer, because I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it does, for once, continuity there being done good. Anyway. At any rate, yes, Luna-san starts off the day, and as soon as she messes up with the kids, everything just goes downhill from there, from judging a flower show prior, and waving and doing all that stuff prior, and then all building up to that one scene where she frowns, and then from the rest of the day forward, she just sort of laments her decision to not keep smiling because it was too hard. Anyway, we switch on over to Celestia-san, and this is where the episode does get interesting. Yes, indeed. We cut over to Celestia, and we see her take the dream state. And again, continuity. She says that she raised the moon as if it was the first time she had done that, although I assumed that that is what she did. It was raise both the sun and the moon. And Luna's job was specifically to look over ponies in their dreams. But the way that it's written implies that Celestia is raising the moon for the first time. Again, weird. But moving forward, we see that Starlight Glimmer is the one having a nightmare, and she heads on over into that dream, and it starts to go haywire. Indeed. We see Nightmare Moon-san return, and then we get the introduction to Luna-san. And boy, oh boy, was that something of a spectacle. It is definitely a highlight to see quite an intense battle sequence taking the backstage as Celestia starts to doubt herself more and more. Shows she heads over to Luna. And Luna-san is having her own nightmares, and boy is it creepy. I mean, she has all these little pony kids just going up on her, and then she's like losing her teeth. Ugh, it's weird. But she's quickly pulled out, and Celestia-san gives her the update. And somehow she knows who Daybreaker is. Again, how? This seems to be a common issue in My Little Pony where characters just happen to know the name of the character they never met before. Yeah, it's about like maybe the second or third time this has happened. But regardless, it still is a pretty interesting scene seeing them still fight, and then seeing Luna and Celestia finally talk it out and finally respect each other for what they do. Celestia-san gains the confidence to blow them both away by just using her wings, which is nuts, instead of just using her magic, but yeah. Anyway, they get out of the dream state, and then everyone's all hunky-dory, and Starlight-san's confused, and Twilight-san knows what's been going down, kind of, but missed the part. And yeah, that about sums up the episode. I mean, other than Luna-san saying all the stuff that she neglected to do so that Celestia-san needs to pick up the pace, but then she's like, bye! And yeah, that's about the episode. So, this episode has a fair number of issues, and as good reviewers, we must be very vigilant to point these out. And unfortunately, I have to say it, the sacrifice does pull this episode back significantly for me. The first half of the episode and kind of coming to that conclusion kind of just bogs the entire episode down. Even with the presence of Sunbreaker, it doesn't save the entire episode as a whole. So, I kind of wish that this episode, came a little bit later. And yes, I know I did request or ask for a Princess Celestia episode, but not at the risk of another character. That's just mean. It kind of makes me not like this episode for all of its faults. I suppose no episode is perfect. But hey, we're doing our jobs here. And I know we're probably getting a lot of hate, considering that we're probably going to be the only reviewers to put this much hate on this episode, but yeah, I can't see this being on the top 3 or anything like that. It just falls apart. But if somehow someone did like this review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, farewell, everyone.